As ASEAN pushes towards deeper economic integration, greater connectivity is important. That's especially so in communications and transport. And having the ASEAN Open Skies agreement is important to help facilitate growth. Analysts say Singapore is poised to leverage the benefits of a liberalized ASEAN market. So they also note that there are kinks to be ironed out before the skies are truly open. Here's Akshob Girdadas.
With the launch of the ASEAN Economic Community, Southeast Asia looks poised to tap the economic benefits of a regional grouping. This is being supported by an Open Skies agreement, allowing carriers from all 10 member nations to fly freely within the region. An ASEAN single aviation market will help increase trade between the nations by boosting the flow of goods and services and easing restrictions. It will also boost travel around the region.
We've seen this across the globe when we have open skies policy. It just encourages traffic. So the more competition we have, the more traffic, the better services and fares offered to passengers. It makes it just a very good proposition for the flying public and ultimately for economies across the region.
But a more liberalized market comes with its own set of challenges. With security a key concern, one key task lies in adopting a homogeneous level of security standards and checks across ASEAN. Infrastructure support is another challenge, not just on the ground, but also in the skies.
So the downside is if the infrastructure isn't ready for it yet, it can be a problem. And the infrastructure in aviation is really two things. One, it's the ground side infrastructure, so it's runways, it's airports. And then second, it's the air side infrastructure, which means the air traffic and how the air traffic is controlled by the relevant authorities.
The airlines themselves also need to be ready. In the past decade, there has been an explosion of low-cost carriers in the region, but they have been struggling of late and may not be ready for any spurt in expansion. Meanwhile, full-serviced airlines, which have been facing increasing competition from budget airlines, may face a tighter squeeze when other national carriers are allowed to compete on their home turfs. The prospect of increased flight frequency may not necessarily translate to more revenues.
Well, it's all about capacity management. So it's no point having frequency of flights with empty seats. So you've got to get that balance of frequency versus load factors. So load factors are going to be key for any efficient operation. So we've seen the modern airline models be able to manage through those two dynamics pretty effectively.
With a liberal aviation policy, Singapore has already concluded air services agreements with more than 100 countries and territories, including about 40 open skies agreements. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore noted that open skies for the ASEAN market would support both trade and tourism. With Singapore expecting on average between 14 and 16 million tourists yearly, national carrier Singapore Airlines says the new liberalized market will play a key role in boosting tourism for Singapore and the region.